Yes, he is. That was a really stupid question to ask him.
You don't know vapors. Don't even speak to us anymore.
What is it?
And we are live! So welcome everyone to the TFRL stream here on GT Sport, round 3 at Dragon Trail Gardens, and currently with me is FRL Ballboy 57, Elliot F6, and Liam as well, our Bay League driver from F1. Ballboy and Elliot, what are your guys' thoughts on the race ahead?
I think I'm gonna crash.
You think you're gonna crash?
Yeah.
By the way, if you can get the live stream up on YouTube, share it into the PS messages, because I can't. Which is a bit...
I've got to get some practice in now before the race.
But yeah, what does vaping mean again? What does that mean? You didn't answer my question.
That's not important. Anyway, my views on this race is that I
want to know. I want to know. It's going to put me off in the race.
Did I interrupt you when you were talking about you crashing? No. So
yeah, it's just a sentence.
My opinion is on the race. I'm just going for points. Honestly, I've got the championship lead by 8. I'm not quick round here. I always said that I wasn't going to enjoy this one. So it's just all about grabbing points, as many as I can, really.
Yeah. Right, I'm just gonna... chat, both the FRL and the TFRL chat, and yeah, right, we're all back in the party. Right, we're going to be starting in a minute's time. Any YouTube comments currently before we start? In the party.
I'm just going for points in this one.
Welcome Small Guy. Small Guy's going to be watching along here with us tonight. 10 drivers, what do you make of that?
You're missing out, Small Guy, you're missing out.
Yeah, if Small Guy was here, it would be 11, and we're going to be starting literally in a minute. I'm just going to let some drivers finish off their laps.
Right, I'm not on a quick one, so I think it's just me and Becca. I'm not sure about the other 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, never mind.
Right, it should be appearing up at 6:30 on my right-hand side of my screen any minute, and I'm currently...
I'm just sending.
Hang on a minute. How do I?
He's stuck with those on.
You go to YouTube and type in TFRL. You can watch the live race with commentary.
With commentary from me, yeah.
Right. Where's the GT Sport?
Huh?
GT Sport. Set.
Right, I'm just putting a message in the chat.
You can let me finish this lap.
Yep, I'm just asking everyone if we're ready to go.
Okay, no, I've binned it.
Right, is anybody else finishing laps? Right, I think there's a massive gap now between drivers, so I think we're gonna...
Oh my god. I think Jordan's
stop
got
the
this
race.
in the bag, you know?
Oh, and I need to go spectator. Oh.
Please let me change my ball. What, really? I think
trying to
G-Force is on a lap.
Right, and here we go.
Randomised group. Randomised group. Oh my god, look at that 2 Nissans on the front row.
Where am I?
Oh, somebody isn't in. Who's that?
He's put the championship leader on pole. It's you that's not in, James.
That's that fix.
Oh yeah, that's not me. That's not in. Yeah.
You fixed it. You fixed the result. There we go.
Oh, 1 minute past.
Right, we are about to start here.
TFRL.
3, 2, 1. And it's lights out and away we go here at Dragon Trail Gardens. And I've got to mute you all. I've just realised. So we are off and underway here at Dragon Trail Gardens. G-Force currently leads away from Becca. Elliot got a slow start back in third, as I've got to put absolutely everything on my display. So I know where people are. Swift now up to third and fourth. Who else is there? Swift, Grand J10 up to fifth. Elliot 6th. Interesting. Felix 7th. Young Boss 8th. Ballboy 9th. And JB 10th. JB getting blue flags. I don't know why. He's getting blue flags. Superhero was off there. Superhero off in the Toyota. And Ballboy was looking for a move on JB there. JB, I don't know if he's a lap down or is he... he's invented his lap. Why has he put him at the back of the grid? I do not know. But Becca is out in front, leading by 0.3 of a second from G-Force, looking up the inside. German and the Dutch driver and the rest of the field are quite a way back early on. 2.5 seconds separating G-Force and Grand J10, and Elliot and Swift are having a bit of a go here as well. The two GTRs and the Lamborghini and the Beetle in behind of Young Boss going, the Porsche, sorry, of Young Boss going quite well. Then it's Felix in the BMW, Ballboy in 8th, Superhero 9th, and JB, it's finally fixed itself, and JB is now 8th. There we go, it's fixed itself. So out front there is a side-by-side battle going on between Becca and G-Force, looking a bit wavy there. Becca and G-Force. So coming to lap 2, going up the hill. Stunning track this is. And Becca has pulled away by 0.3 of a second. G-Force just flashing the lights there. Elliot, look how tight it is. Goodness me. So Becca leads and he's getting caught up on the braking zone. Elliot has to be forced out wide. Becca's in the Corvette, causing absolute carnage at that corner, and G-Force has spun there and has dropped all the way down the field, and he's now in dead last place. And Swift getting the move done on Grand J10 there for third. Of course, tyre regulations and fuel regulations are on 3 times the limit here. So we're going to be seeing pit stops quite early on, I would expect. The tyres will probably go off. Anybody on different tyres? Can't really see. Let's have a look at the live timing screen actually. Becca currently leading the way and has got the fastest lap with a 30.7 in the Corvette. Then Elliot, Swift, Grand J10, Young Boss, Superhero, Felix, Ballboy, JB, and at the back is now Young Boss. Young Boss is at the back. Did he have a spin? He must have had a spin in the Porsche, because it was G-Force that spun, I think. And now Becca and Elliot going side by side nearly. Becca just defending off Elliot. Grand J10 and Swift now starting to catch the 2 British drivers in behind. The 3 British drivers in behind as Elliot looks for the move and he's forced off by Becca. That is a punishing move by Becca. That will be getting investigated after the race. And he should be waiting up for drivers. He should be waiting up for Elliot here, because that was really unfair from the Corvette driver, from the German. And now we've got Grand J10 and Swift out in first and second. Becca in third, followed by Superhero. Ballboy up to 5th in the Hyundai. Then it's G-Force in the Ferrari, who's just gone for a spin there. G-Force, the Dutch driver, going for a spin, and that's forced JB and Elliot back into the mix, up to 6th and 7th. Felix struggling in the BMW, and Young Boss in the Porsche in the 911, right at the back of the field. Let's have a look at the battle for the lead though. 1.2 seconds now. It's Grand J10 out in front from Swift. Becca in third. We are a 7th through this race, about to come on to lap 4. It's Grand J10 just trying to extend that lead in the GTR. 1.3 seconds clear of Swift, his nearest rival, in the Lambo. And then Becca, who's now starting to catch Superhero. Grand J10 trying to save all the ground there on the inside in first. Superhero's starting to catch as well in 4th. Ballboy's dropped off a little bit in 5th in the Hyundai. And Elliot's second off, is Elliot? Yeah, Elliot's 3.8 seconds off Ballboy in 6th. JB7, G-Force 8th. Felix 9th and Young Boss 10th, as we're going to go back to the battle with the lead. 1.1, 1.2, he's just extending his gap now, Grand J10 out in front. From Swift in 2nd, Becker in 3rd and Superhero in 4th. Maybe the battle for 2nd could be a one that we should be on board with here. As we've got variable cam now on all the cars. This is so much better because you can actually see most of the cars now. Instead of me flicking through, and now Swift and Becker running up the hill. Superhero chasing as well. He's got damage there. Noticeable damage on his car. And Becker has actually got the move done there on Swift. Maybe standard cam is the way to go. So Becker got the move done there on Swift. And G-Force has left the session. So G-Force has left the session, and who was that going off? That's Grand J10. Having a bit of a moment from, I do believe, the lead. He was in the lead. So Grand J10 has spun out the lead. Maybe these tyres are just starting to tack themselves up. The Superhero looks for a move on Swift. That's not going to work. But look at how the gap has Constantined up here. It's now a second, just under a second, between Becker, Swift and Superhero out in front. And Becker looks pretty vulnerable down the straights. Swift now trying to look for the move in the Lambo, going right up the inside. Could be 3 wide here. Becker just forcing them all off. Superhero and the Toyota trying to get through as well on the outside. Becker's actually rammed off Swift, and he's got back through for the lead. And Superhero and Swift nearly coming into contact there as well. And in the background, Grand J10 is now starting to catch. And there is about a 2.5 second lead from Becker to 4th. And then Ballboy and Elliot now closing up on Ballboy as well. Looking very interesting. I'm going to have a look at the comment section in the YouTube chat. Hopefully we're still live and whatever. And I'm just not speaking for myself. Let's have a look at the GT Sport chat. We've got 2 likes. If you are watching us, keep liking and subscribing and whatever. Small guy, no, Gio's not racing. He put in the chat earlier on that he's not racing due to visitors being around his house. And Swift and Grand J10 having a bit of a coming together there. They're having a little bit of a fight for 3rd and 4th. The Lambo and the GTR. And Elliot's actually got past Ballboy. Not surprised really with that, as Ballboy's actually got his indicator on. I don't know what he's indicating for. Maybe the corner? Who knows? But yeah, Gio is not racing tonight due to visitors being around his house. And Grand J10 Swift here, just looking back at the action. The GTR, and look at Becker and Superhero. Superhero got forced off nearly into the barrier at the pit lane, and then once again 1.5 seconds separating the top 4, as Becker leads the way in the Corvette from Superhero and the Toyota. Then it's Grand J10 and the GTO and Swift in the Lambo. Quite interesting as we now approach a 3rd race distance here at Dragon Trail Gardens, and Becker GT leads the way. Well, look at Superhero once again being forced off by the German. Once again being forced off by the German there. Becker leading the way. Still, he's trying to defend really harshly, I think. Might need a word or 2 in the steward's room after this race. Superhero and Grand J10 and Swift are catching though. And this could end all utter chaos coming through these dual right-handers, these 4 right-handed corners. And Superhero tries to get back through on the inside, and he has done this time. So the Toyota's back in front, with Becker, the Corvette, in 2nd. Then Grand J10 looking for a move on the inside, and the GTR. Becker trying to turn into the corner. He's been forced out wide, and he's going to lose positions, I think, here, by J10 and Swift. Becker's actually narrowly got back in, and Superhero's going to be the first of the main ones to pit. But we're going to watch the battle for the lead, and look how close they are. There is 1/10 separating them all here, as Grand J10 goes for a move on Becker, and Becker is forced off the track, and so is Grand J10. They can have a bit of a coming together. And out of all of this, Elliot F6 is up to 2nd now, Becker looking for a lunging move again. Becker, what on earth is he doing? Becker, you need to learn how to drive. I'm really, really sorry, but you need to learn how to drive and respect rules, because if you want to drive like that in GT Sport, then I'm sorry, but you're weaving under the braking, man. Grand J10, no doubt he forces him into the barrier. I would have done the same. And Ballboy even comes into contact now, and Swift is out in front by 5.3 seconds in the meantime. From Grand J10 and now Ballboy and Becker having a bit of a battle. Bit of a battle now. Corvette on the Hyundai. Yeah, and Liam just saying get him gone out of the GT Sport League. If you want to race like that, then I'm sorry, there's open lobbies for that sort of moves and that sort of driving. Just ridiculous. But we are through a third race distance. Where is Superhero out on track? Where did he come back out? He's came back out in 6th. Has he got enough fuel to go to the end? And how is he lapping on his outlap? Let's have a look. He's actually going pretty quick on his outlap. 29.5 middle sector. So that's a bit of interest. And he's also got fastest lap of the race with a 30.8. And that is the thing is Elliott and Becker have now come into the pits. Swift, Grand J10 and Ballboy still continuing on here. Superhero now up to 4th. Elliott 5th. JB also in the pits on the hard tyres. He might switch to a faster tyre. And that's Felix going off in the BMW. Having a bit of coming together with Young Boss, I think, there. Felix is going to come into the pitch. I think he's got damage as well on the right-hand side. Damage is on light. So he's also come in the pits. So Swift is out in front by 5.1 seconds. As I'm going to take another look at the YouTube comments here. If Becker doesn't get banned for this league after everything he's done, I'm going to cry. Well, this is an ultimatum. Either he cleans up his driving or he's gone. And that is not only for GT Sport, but that is also for the F1 side. Because I'm not having drivers that disrespect each other in the way that Becker is doing at this moment in time. And Elliott is trying to race him so fairly, but I guarantee that Becker is probably going to defend quite aggressively and possibly force him into the wall again, like we've seen twice already this race. Absolutely ridiculous. Right, Swift is coming round the final corner now, and he's actually coming into the pits. Possibly for one stop. He's in this pit. Grand J10 still continuing though. Interesting. And he's continuing, and Ballboy is also in the pits, so Superhero's going to be in 2nd, I think, here, as he now rounds the final corner. The Toyota now coming across the line, and yeah, he is up to 2nd. Where is Swift? Swift just coming out of his pit box, actually. And there's Superhero, and Swift's actually got to head out of Superhero here. Interesting, so Swift has jumped Superhero, but has he fueled his car to the maximum possible to try and get home in the end of this race? Of course, all drivers have got 50 litres of fuel to start off with in this race. A change from the 100 litres that was made available in the first 2 races of the season. Superhero now closing up 4/10 the gap, but he doesn't look like he's got the straight line speed in that Toyota. And because of the slipstream, Swift now begins to pull away going into the corners. Superhero's line nice through there though. Grand J10 is 13 seconds out in front. Young Boss came into the pits there, and we've still got 9 runners as Felix is lapping at the back of the field. Becker did get overtaken by Elliott there, possibly at the start of this lap, and Becker now falling off, and Ballboy is now beginning to hold off Becker, hold up Elliott even, and Becker is starting to struggle in that Corvette, I've got to say. He's trying to catch, but sadly it's not working. It's 1.7 seconds at the minute. Grand J10 is now coming into the pit, so this is going to be interesting. He's into his pit box. How's the stop going to look? What tyres is he going to go on? He's waiting for the refuelling to take place now. He is on the super softs according to my screen. And there is Swift and there is Superhero, and Grand J10 is fueling up to the end of the race. So Swift and Superhero, a second separating them, and they've jumped Grand J10, who is out in front of Elliott by, I would say, around 6-7 seconds. Yeah, 8 seconds actually, it's more than I expected. Yeah, it's now starting to come down a little bit, and Ballboy did get overtaken So, and I'm going to put in a comment in the chat saying to race cleanly. Give me a minute, I'll get back to commentary. Swift Superhero, still a second out in front. Swift going a tenth slower than his personal best lap time. Superhero's trying to close up through the double right-handers, if you like, the 4 right-handers at this track. Makes this track look very, very unordinary on the calendar, I've got to say. And just a bit of housekeeping, actually. We are going to be changing one of the tracks later on in the season. We're going to be changing Alsace, which was the French leg of our series. And we're going to be changing that to the newly released Circuit de la Sarthe. So we're going to be racing around Le Mans. Not sure how that is going to play out, as we've got a comment in the comment section on YouTube. Let us have a look at what that is. Ah, did I make a spelling mistake by any chance? Yeah, I think I did. Oh, dear me. And I'm a uni student and I keep on making mistakes. Has Swift made a mistake? Because it's now 3/10 the gap. Superhero might be trying to look for a move, but Swift is defending for his life here. Superhero, I don't think, has got the straight line speed unless he tries for a move, and he's not trying it this time around. And Grandeur 10 is actually beginning to catch up. 3.5 seconds the gap. Elliott F6 in 4th, Bullboy 5th, Becker 6th as we've reached halfway, JB 7th, Young Boss 8th, and we've only got 8 runners as Felix has left us in the race. So we've only got 8 runners left out of the 10 that started. Still a pretty high attendance though for the GT Sport League here tonight. Our Superhero's made a mistake there. Oh, he got caught in the red AstroTurf there. And he's lost a hell of a lot of ground. He's lost about 8/10, 9/10 nearly a second actually. He's lost. And he's lost even more to Grand J10. He's now beginning to push himself in that GTR, trying to push himself for that win. Elliott's not really closing actually in 4th. He's 6.5 seconds down at the minute. But utilising that GTR, he will start to catch eventually. Superhero still set off 30.8 as Swift goes for a little bit of a half spin on the grass there. Hang on a minute. I will reply to Oxide's message in a minute. I'll actually put it in the chat. Yeah, and Felix has just left the session there. 1.6 seconds now, the gap between first and second, and look at Grand J10, the GTR on the back of Superhero in the Toyota. Superhero, I've got to say, is driving a really good race. For his first race here, Grand J10 and Swift also driving first races, and Swift's made a mistake. Swift made a mistake there. I think he must have overrun himself at the corner before the top of the hill. And he's trying to defend now off a 2-pronged attack from Superhero and Grand J10. Very interesting. There is a tiny little bit of lag going on, but that's probably because I'm watching the stream as well as commentating. And Superhero launches for a move up the inside. Has he got that stopped? He uses the outside of the corner to try and fix himself, and it's now side-by-side action between the GTR and the Toyota. Superhero has lost that position though. And Grand J10, look at the speed on the GTR compared to the Lambo, going for a move up into turn 1. This is fair as you like racing here, and Grand J10 has got the move done beautifully up into turn 1, and that is a beautiful move. And all 3 drivers here respecting the driving limits and respecting each other. That's what we want to see in the TFRL GT Sport League. And Grand J10's Swift has actually lost 2 positions there. From Grand J10 is now out in front, and Superhero is in second now. Looking further back, Elliott... Oh, actually, side by side between Swift and Superhero, and they're still clunking their cars together, and Swift's actually got back past Superhero. And look in the background, the menacing figure of Elliott F6 is now beginning to come into it. Becker GT Sport struggling now. He's actually got past Ballboy. I'm not sure if he made a mistake, but he's still got his left indicator on. Somebody might want to tell him to turn that off. JB a little way behind, and Young Boss. Quite disappointing so far from him on his first race for us. And Swift's actually made a mistake again, and Superhero's actually got the move done. And yeah, Small Guy commenting there is some great racing going on here in the GT Sport League tonight. All thanks to Elliott, as Swift has actually got back past Superhero. They're chopping and changing positions like you wouldn't know it as we reach lap 14 here in Dragon Trail Gardens, round 3 of the GT Sport Championship, the GT Sport League even, and Grand J10, our newcomer, leads the way with 1.9 seconds the gap to Swift in second and Superhero in third. Elliott F6 in fourth. We've reached 2/3 race distance. Becker is in fifth, followed by Ballboy in sixth, who's just trying to keep on the coattails of Becker, and he's trying to keep the Corvette driver honest. JB in seventh, who is lapping quite what's the word I'm looking for? Quite consistently, yeah. He's looking quite consistent there, and Young Boss is actually coming round the final corner there in eighth, and Superhero's got back past Swift, but both of them have gone off. And Elliott's just trying to avoid them all, and he's gone through both of them. And Elliott gets the move done. Swift just forces out Superhero there. Bit of a strange one, they had a bit of a coming together there, and that's before the hill section into the double right-hander. Very, very interesting stuff there. So the championship leader, Elliott F6, is up to second. And Grand J10, as my voice just starts to go a little bit. 5 seconds the gap now to Elliott F6, who will try and close on his good old friend, Grand J10. Superhero third, Swift fourth, Becker fifth. Ballboy's not losing much time as he nearly goes for half spin there at the final corner. JB seventh, and Becker is in again. Interesting. Becker is in again. He's getting a change of tyres. He's going back onto the super softs, and it's just a tyre change. Interesting. He's got that gap, of course, between JB, who's now coming around the final corner. He is struggling in that Mercedes, I've got to say. As I'm just going to go off commentary for a little moment as I reply. Right, and we're back with the action here. And any changes in position? No. Oh, yeah, Becker's obviously pitted and he's trying to get Ballboy now for fifth. Otherwise, there's not much going on, apart from a battle for third with Swift and Superhero. Once again, these two drivers chopping and changing positions. Superhero getting a bit wide on the AstroTurf there and running over the curb. As we've got 6 views now, and we've got 7 comments in the comment section, so keep your comments coming, keep sharing amongst the stream as we reach the closing stages here of Dragon Trail Gardens. And Elliott and Superhero going into the pits. Right, let's watch Elliott in the pits. Is this just a simple tyre change for him, or is he going to refuel? It's just a simple tyre change. The tyre change going off, tyres going off quite badly here. And Superhero is... can't change to Superhero for some reason. It's a bit of a strange one, but he is out in fourth. He's ahead of Becker. There he is out on track. We can't get a camera on him. I want to view him. There we go. We're on board with Superhero now. Don't know what happened there.